Council, West Sacramento Redevelopment Agency and Finance Authority. We will begin with the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge that the land on which we live, work, learn, and commune is the original homelands of the indigenous people of West Sacramento, who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. We acknowledge and we thank the original inhabitants who have occupied, maintained, and secured this place, who still exist on this land. We respect and celebrate the many diverse indigenous people still connected to this land on which we gather. The council did not meet in closed session this evening. And now, next, we would like to invite our guests to join the council and staff in the pledge, which will be led by our visitors from St. Francis High School, who will come up and lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you so much. And please come to the microphone.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. And to the visitor who has the USC shirt, I'm a Trojan myself. As is noted on our agenda, City Council is prohibited by state law from discussing or taking any action on items that are brought under item 1 for public comment, but it provides an opportunity for a public forum. The public is given an opportunity at this time to address City Council issues not listed on the agenda. We do ask anyone wishing to address the council on this or any other item this evening to please fill out a request to speak card and return it to the clerk. We accept the request to speak cards up to the conclusion of the reading of the staff report on any particular agenda item. Once the staff report has been read, we open the item up for public comment. The clerk will announce your name for you to walk to the podium to speak. Now, in front of the clerk, there is a timer to ensure that everyone has a chance to be heard. We ask that all comments be limited to the specified number of minutes that I provide. Also, in front of the clerk is an analog flip chart, which indicates which agenda item the council is currently considering. And we also recognize that for some, speaking in public can cause anxiety, so we request that there be no boos, applause, catcalls, or other demonstrations. Furthermore, so that we may maintain a civil discourse here in the chambers, we ask that those in attendance and those who address City Council abide by the code of conduct that is posted and is also included at the podium. And we ask that that they do not speak in any loud, threatening, offensive, abusive, or other disrespectful language that disrupts, disturbs, or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting. So now this brings us to item 1, presentations by the public on matters not on the agenda within the jurisdiction of the council. And at this time, each person has 3 minutes to speak. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, ma'am. Our first speaker is Guy Stevenson.
Ladies, Mayor, I'm here because I have a really big concern about where this city is going, because I see that a lot of you city council members are not on the same page with each other, which I don't understand. You have your own agenda. You know what I mean? I've reviewed hours, and I mean hours, of city council meetings, and I see exactly what people are doing. Makes absolutely no sense. Now, and the other concern that I have is what's going on in West Sacramento as far as public safety. I spent 3 days in Sacramento trying to get some of the Sac PD cops to come over here and lateral, because you have people that are not only stealing, but they're becoming violent. Like with the issue over at Walmart with AP getting stabbed in the hand, trying to stop somebody. Or how about the police officer that almost lost control of his gun? That is unacceptable. I don't want to see another situation like Natalie Corona or Officer Deputy Gibson. I don't want to see any of that anymore. See, people really need to focus about public safety. And, you know, I watch on TV exactly what you people are about. It's about a publicity. I want to be popular. I want to be on TV. Quit worrying about that. Worry about your job. You guys are elected. And I am so grateful that a couple of the city council members in Sacramento got taken right out in the election, because that's what happens. When you don't do your job, they're going to get rid of you. You know what I mean? I have a lot of respect for you, Mayor, but I have to be honest with you. None of you people are on the same page. You're all doing your own thing. Public safety in this town should be a big, big priority. 3 car wrecks, 3 fatalities. Now you got somebody getting stabbed. Now you got a cop, somebody's trying to take his gun. And that's, no, I don't want to see any of that happen. The only thing I'm saying is you guys got to be on the same page. You guys have to agree on things. And if you have a disagreement with each other, do me this favor, because I learned this in the military. Take it to the back, because when you do it out here in front of everybody else, guess what? They're saying, I elected those people. You don't argue about stuff out here in the public. You do it in the back room. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Robin Davis.
Hello, I'm Robin and I live in my 160 square foot semi-off-grid tiny home on wheels on my undeveloped residential property here in West Sacramento. Wanted to share some updates regarding tiny homes on wheels. Latest news, THOWs are now permitted in all zoning districts and allow residential dwellings or ADUs in the county of San Benito. So we now have another example to look to in the state. I also received an update from regional sewer staff that they will be bringing impact fee options for tiny homes to the board once they receive the ordinance draft from our West Sac Planning Department. So we are all looking forward to hearing from David Tilley on that soon. We also need to continue to bring more awareness on what is happening to our construction industry. It is a huge reason why not only our housing is so expensive to build and maintain, but our entire infrastructure. It's been said in previous council meetings that we need new development in order to gain the revenue to fix our roads. This leaves us at the mercy of developers once again and new construction due to the fact that we cannot maintain or sustain what we already have. There is an imminent population collapse that is happening in our construction, engineering, and architecture industries, where 10 years ago, for every 5 people that left the industry, 1 replaced them, and today it is for every 7 people leaving, only 1 is replacing them. We need more solutions than to just build more infrastructure for the revenue, because we will not be able to sustain it in the next 20 years. Today in the U.S., over 200,000 bridges need repair or replacement now. That's 1/3 of the bridges in America that need repair now. There are also over 200 water main breaks per year, according to the EPA, and don't have enough skilled workers to fix them. We will have more potholes, more power outages that will take longer and longer to fix, and government-subsidized affordable housing will cost way more than the current $350,000 per unit price tag. This on top of California already having close to a 1 million housing unit deficit for its residents. We need to continue investing in things like community shop classes and repair cafes and promote the trades to our youth in West Sac to give residents the skills needed to help maintain this city, because our entire society depends on it. We also have a free pre-apprenticeship program right here in West Sac with Northern California construction training. If we want to build up West Capitol and the waterfront and build more housing, then we need a plan on how we are going to maintain it, because we can only tax and fee everyone so much. Homes with Wheels is not the solution, but another tool we can use to more easily, efficiently, and sustainably build housing, because prices are not going down, incomes are not rising, and the trades industry is dwindling. So please continue to support and incentivize policy and programs that support sustainability of our infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We have no additional requests to speak.
We're closing the public comment, and next we have under presentations a proclamation recognizing March 2024 as Women's History Month. And tonight, we welcome our city leaders here, our department heads, of which 6 out of 9 of our department heads are female leaders. And so I'll read the proclamation, and then I would like to, I would actually like to take a photo next to our City of West Sacramento seal. I think that's a nice spot. And I'm going to ask Mayor Pro Tem to read, if you don't mind.
The proclamation of the City Council, City of West Sacramento, declaring March 2024 as Women's History Month. The proclamation reads as follows: whereas American women of every race, class, religious, and ethnic background have made significant contributions to the growth and strength of this country. And whereas American women have and will continue to play a critical role in the economic, cultural, and social fabric of our society by representing a considerable portion of both paid and volunteer labor force inside and outside the home. And whereas the 2024 Women's History Month theme is women who advocate for equity, diversity, and inclusion. And whereas women from diverse backgrounds have long been at the forefront of efforts to address systemic inequities and promote a more inclusive and just society. And whereas the City of West Sacramento is made up of women, the entire West Sacramento City Council is made up of women who come from diverse ethnic backgrounds, and whereas 6 of the 9 department heads working for the City of West Sacramento are women, and whereas throughout the month, efforts to highlight the achievements of women leaders and change makers, both past and present, are plentiful. And whereas in 2024, we honor women who have tirelessly worked to dismantle barriers, challenging prejudices, and create opportunities for all individuals, regardless of their background. And whereas we celebrate the contributions of West Sacramento women who are leaders in our community and contribute immensely to the rich and vibrant city that we all enjoy. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the City Council of the City of West Sacramento does hereby recognize March 2024 as Women's History Month, proclaim this 6th day of March 2024. Thank you, Madam
Thank you, Mayor. Okay. So yes, if we can all get up and take a with our women department heads, please. Missing one. I want to stand wherever you want. All right.
Yeah, they're cool, right?
Right. Next, we have our consent agenda, item 3 through 7. Are there any requests to remove an item from our consent agenda?
you.
Not for me.
Yeah. So, sorry, we can all Spigot started back here, I'm sorry. Next, we have our consent agenda items 3 to 7. Are there any requests to remove an item for question or presentations?
Yeah, I would like to remove item 7.
Okay,
Great. That was the one I was going to remove too, so we're good.
and with that, there are no others. We'll move items 3 through 6. And Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak on, before I move?
We have no request to speak on any of these items.
And then I'll accept a motion to move items 3 to 6. And Madam Clerk, Mayor Pro Tem moved, and Councilmember Alcala seconded. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Sulpicio Hall.
Aye.
Councilmember Early.
Aye.
Councilmember Alcala.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Orozco.
Aye.
Mayor Guerrero.
Aye. Right, this item is approved. Now we have item 7. And, well, do we need a presentation for that? Does that help?
No,
I don't need one.
no, I don't need a presentation.
Okay.
Okay, and so, go ahead. Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no,
I
ahead.
can go.
You can start.
All right, sounds good. Okay. So I was actually not at our last meeting, and unfortunately, I had a work event out of town. And when I went back and read the minutes, and also had an opportunity to talk to some community members, actually,
Yes.
I thought it was important that I share my thoughts on what occurred our last meeting. And I had to write something down. Usually I don't write anything down, but I thought it was that important to me, particularly because of what I heard from other community members about how they were feeling about what happened the last meeting. And so at the heart of our city's progress lies the dedication and passion of our residents, particularly those who actively engage in our commissions to advocate for the betterment of our shared community. Among these remarkable individuals is Matthew Hargrove, whose steadfast commitment to our city's well-being has been evident through his consistent attendance at our Parks Commission and his tireless efforts to keep our residents informed and engaged. Anyone who goes online hears from Matthew Hargrove. It's really important to him that he's educating the whole community, whatever, right? He is our informal historian, all the things. It's essential for us to embrace a person-centered approach, one that values and celebrates the strengths and contributions of each of our community members. This includes ensuring that decisions made about our city's commissions reflect our shared values of inclusivity, respect, and collaboration. Therefore, I was deeply disappointed by the recent removal, actually, of Commissioner Hargrove, former Commissioner Matthew Hargrove, from the Parks Commission. It was something that was unexpected, did not have prior discussion, and was done while I was not here to actually talk about it. And also, my colleague, Versa Peter Hull, was not here as well. As we move forward, I'm urging us to prioritize open communication, mutual respect in all decision-making processes, especially when it comes to our commissions as they reflect our entire community. And again, these are individuals who prepare for commission meetings, who attend each commission meeting and make sure that they're giving, literally, it's the truest form of public servant. It's not paid. And they just show up every single time because they care about our community. By engaging in meaningful dialogue and honoring the unique strengths and perspectives, I feel like, of each of us here, we can continue to effectively serve our community and uphold the principles of transparency and fairness. Thank you for giving me some time.
I share my colleagues' concerns with the appointments process in the last. I, too, could not attend. Both my kids were sick. I was sick, too. But after reviewing everything for the meeting, I trusted, my colleagues would be able to carry out city business. But I was really disappointed how everything went down. Again, concerned about the removal of a member from a commission without any notice. And I say that because we were so heavily prepped by our clerk for the appointment after the resignation of a commissioner. And so having all of this information in front of me, never once was there an option to remove a commissioner. And so, the gremlins are back. And so to be surprised with the removal, if I was surprised, I know members of the community were surprised. And I just don't think that's how we want to do business. You know, there was no mention in our documents or staff reports that a removal would be occurring. And I share Councilmember Early's concern about, you know, we have a sitting commissioner with perfect attendance who has been an ultimate champion for the city and has communicated with the community on issues related to his appointment. Matthew Hargrove has been an absolute champion for West Sacramento. He did his job as a commissioner and he did it well. To be removed with no cause is incredibly concerning because I worry, what message do we send to our volunteer commissioners about this removal? Is there, at any whim, could they be removed from a commission for no reason? Also, Matthew Hargrove represents District 4, my district, and for the removal to take place without any conversation with the District 4 elected representative commission just seems really unfair. And then I want to make a note that the person who resigned was a woman, and in her place, 3 men were appointed to the commission. So we went from a commission that was 50% women to one that was 37. And it was just very disappointing to see that trend happen with our all-female council. And so I do not support the decisions that were made on the 21st, and I don't believe it aligns with the type of city we want to be, and especially how we want to treat our volunteers.
Any other comments or questions? Yeah, Maru?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I actually had not planned on speaking at all, but my colleagues actually reflected a lot of the feeling that I've had over the last 2 weeks. Lots of regrets, because I actually was here, and there was a lot that I didn't say that I probably ought to have said. Frankly, I don't abstain. I don't believe in abstaining, largely because I think that we are elected to make informed decisions that are based on the information we receive that is in the best interest of our city. In this particular case, I had to vote no on the recommendation and then ultimately abstain when it was a decision that I ultimately had wanted. I wanted to have someone from District 2 appointed, but not at the expense of somebody who has, as my colleagues represent, given years and hours of his life to serve this community. One of the things that I would have said last time is that in 2016, when I began my service to this community, well, actually, let me go back a couple more years, because I was on the Parks and Community Services Commission prior to becoming a council member. And on that dais, along with me, making decisions about our community, was Matthew Hargrove. He had already been a commissioner prior to my service, and he was reappointed to the Parks Commission. And I've seen this man feeding his neighbors during COVID. I've seen him be the DJ for several years for our Veterans Day parades. He has been the organizer of our cyclocross, and he has contributed in so many different ways, including when we hosted the Bright Broderick Community Family Day, and he was a DJ that day, and offers so much of himself, sometimes at a personal cost, because folks will come after with their own opinions that might differ. But with that stated, I want our commissioners and members of the community who make a decision to put their time on the line to serve, to let them know that we appreciate that their decisions inform what we do up here, and that, the decision made in such a fashion isn't how we should be known to do business. Quite frankly, I would love to use this platform to empower and inspire people to step forward to serve, as opposed to punishing them without any type of due process or for being, lack of being heard. It's just, I think we did a disservice. I didn't. I don't feel like I feel responsible for that, but I just would hate to repeat that type of behavior in the future for those who really do step forward to serve. And so with that, I would like to say thank you, Matthew Hargrove, for your continued service throughout the years and for your dedication to our city. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councilmember Alcala, do you have any comments?
I did vote to remove Mr. Hargrove because it really is at the discretion of the mayor. You don't need cause to appoint or take someone off a commission. And we do thank Mr. Hargrove. He's done many years, I think 12 years or so. But I think one of the most important things is we had new people who wanted to bring their talents and their energy. And I think that's what we did. We gave someone else an opportunity to serve. Vanessa Castro, She was on Parks. She was an excellent individual who also did a lot of community work. And when she was taken off, I wanted to keep her on, but I understood that maybe new people had to come on. So that's the only response that I have, Mayor. I don't think anyone should be entering into public service with the idea that they're always going to serve, that there has to be new energy and new opportunities for people. So those are the only comments that I have.
Thank you, well said, and I want to just say that I appreciate my fellow council members' thoughts and deep appreciation for our commissioners who do serve, and who do serve with significant amount of talent, experience, and beyond their service and commission, dedication to the community. And after that meeting, I did obtain more information about the Parks Commission, which commissioners and attendance, and I think that we can maybe, I don't know if I think we all received the memo, if you would like to have more of a conversation. But with respect to equal representation between men and women, I think what we did have before was a female from District 1, Vanessa, who put in an application, but it was rejected by council in the past. And at this point, we do have more equal representation citywide, which is the goal, is to have, and that, we didn't have a District 2, I think, application for Parks Commission. And that's where I was trying to achieve, Mayor Pro Tem, your request to have representation on the Parks Commission by District 2. And that's where, with District 1, needing some representation as well. So having equal representation citywide was the goal to, and I did connect with Matt Hargrove later, and was hoping to figure out a way, and I have a recommendation in the council agenda, to figure out a way to restore him and his participation back on the council, back on the commission. If we choose not to, and we have other ideas, prior to that discussion, we can have a conversation about that too. But it was with the intent of returning him back to the commission and finding a spot back for him to serve on the Parks Commission. And that was my intent when I made that action happen, when I made that request and we voted for that. So with that, are there any other comments? No? I'll accept a motion to approve agenda items.
Early moves.
Second.
Right. So Councilmember Early moved and Councilmember Alcala seconded. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Sulpicio Hull.
Aye.
Councilmember Early.
Aye.
Councilmember Alcala.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Orozco.
Aye.
Mayor Guerrero.
Aye. All right. Oh, and, sorry, were there any requests to speak before?
No, Madam Mayor.
Next is our regular agenda item 8 under City Manager's consideration of selection of Mayor Pro Tem. And I do know we have a longstanding council member who has not had the opportunity. I would like to elevate Councilmember Alcala to serve as Mayor Pro Tem. And she's been, council member now, you're going into your 4th year. But it's a vote that we have to take, and so asking for another, would you accept?
I second. And I
Accept the nomination, okay. And with that, did you,
second.
you second it, okay. And I'll ask for a vote on that.
Councilmember Sulpicio Hull.
No.
Councilmember Early.
No.
Councilmember Alcala.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Orozco.
No.
Mayor Guerrero.
Aye. All right, that is not accepted. Next, I'll accept another recommendation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to recommend and make a motion for Dante Early West to serve as Mayor Pro Tem.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Orozco moved for Dante Early West, Dr. Early West to serve, and Councilmember Sulpicio Hull seconded. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Sulpicio Hull.
Aye.
Councilmember Early.
Aye.
Councilmember Alcala.
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Orozco.
Aye.
Mayor Guerrero.
Aye. All right, that recommendation is approved. We will now switch seats. Thank you. And Madam Clerk, were there any requests to speak on this item?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Fairly quick. Might be one of our quick meetings.
I would like to note that you all just made history. I am the first Black individual to ever be mayor pro tem in this city. Just want to note that.
Would you like to present a speech?
No, I'm not gonna. I didn't know it was coming. I would have written something. You already heard what I wrote.
Well, you are very good at the last minute. Please share. And for our audience who's visiting, can you share a little more of your background and how you got to be a
course.
council member?
Yes. I will share a little bit more. I'm really honored to be now mayor pro tem and serving with
Thank
you
you.
and
Yes.
all of these women. It was never my intention to actually be a city council member. I've been a community advocate, very active mom in West Sacramento for nearly 20 years. I love our city. I ran and won in 2021 and also in 2022, and have just had an opportunity to serve on so many boards on behalf of our city. And so I'm very, very honored to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. And just for the purpose of switching plaques, Madam Clerk, do we need to switch the plaques as well? Okay, thank you so much, and make it official. And then also for the sake of publicizing in our newsletter, would you like to take a photo of our new mayor pro tem?
I will never turn down a photo. Joking.
You can post it as like you do for the other key changes in our city. I think our community needs to be made aware.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank
And with that, congratulations.
you.
It'll be a joy to serve with you as well. Okay. Next, we will go to our general administration. I'm missing something. Function Part 2. And do we have any council reports from our council assignments? Okay. And council appointments we did have, and that was, researching as far as the Planning Commission. We did have, and I would like to elaborate a little more beyond just the Planning Commission. I am noticing that there are commissioners who are absent frequently. And when you make an appointment, I would like to convey to our commissioners in future communications that their participation is very important. They are well aware that after a certain number of meetings, after 3, is it after 3, Madam Clerk? Like number 3, you're out?
Currently, the code states 3 absences
3 up
within a calendar year.
within a calendar year. Good point. And so we did have a planning commissioner who is absent 4 within a calendar year.
I think it was 3 within the calendar year, and the 4th one was in the
I
next
see.
year.
Okay. All right. And then, and so as a result of that, Ms. Wong was, the clerk has the authority to remove. And there is a commissioner who's an alternate, Ronald Anderson, and he would like to become a regular commissioner. Would like to make that recommendation to move him up as a regular commissioner, and then take a look at appointing a planning commissioner in the future. I need a
Motion?
second. A motion and a second.
Motion, go ahead.
Sorry,
gonna
can I have,
discuss?
the planning commissioner who had missed 3 meetings, 3 meetings is allowed. Missing 3 meetings is allowed, or is it?
That's what I tried to clarify, yes. So go ahead, did you need more clarification?
It says after missing 3 meetings.
After missing, so we had 3
So
meetings.
they were
we've
fine.
missed.
So technically, they were still within our policy.
She missed 3 meetings.
But said after. So it's the 4th meeting that then becomes the issue?
The way I understand it, it's 3 meetings and there's removal.
Do we need,
Right, we have the option to remove at the staff level. However, I'll point out that I believe if we're going to do that for a singular commissioner, then it's probably worth looking.
okay.
So
thank you so much.
that was actually going to be my
Mhm.
only request. And again, it's the same thing I felt about, quite frankly, Commissioner Hargrove as well, that I think I don't know what our policy is around simply making a phone call or sending an email saying, hey, not sure if you're aware of this policy, because again,
Right.
these are community volunteers. And so I think it's a combination of one, auditing everyone. I would feel more comfortable making the decision after we audited all of our commissions to see who else, right, is not in line. So we're not simply singling out one individual or this individual,
Right.
but doing it as a group. And then also one of my issues with removing Commissioner Hargrove was there was no contact. We weren't aware, there was no real discussion. And so I also think it's important just simply notifying the person, because they just may not have been aware, or maybe something's happening in their home life, or they may be sick, that I think might be extenuating circumstances. That would be my only thing before removing someone from a commission.
And if I could, just to clarify the status of this particular commissioner, they were informed that this was being considered. We did inform them today that it's pending action. I'd like more council feedback on that. While staff does have the discretion, and I think it's in the code, to do removals based on attendance. Again, we want to apply policies evenly and fairly. In this case, it wouldn't be consistent with our past practice. So what I'd recommend is we actually take the time to look at the attendance records across all commissions, give that report to the council, and allow the council then to, really, it'd be the mayor's recommendations at that point on how to handle individual, rather than have a position of sort of unilaterally removing people based purely on, because like Vice Mayor Early just said, there could be circumstances that we're unaware of that would, we'd want to get a little more info on that, give you more context for individual people. That'd be my recommendation, is to actually go do that quick research on
Do the
attendance
audit
records,
of the,
and then
of the
provide that to
commission
the mayor.
attendance and even code of conduct, following up on that as well. And then, with all of that, making sure that the commissioner is informed if they have an attendance that is significant absence, that they are being reviewed for removal, and they have a certain period of time to provide feedback or information to the clerk about the situation if they needed some kind of waiver from we don't have a waiver as far as what was suggested here.
There might be some extenuating circumstances that we would want to consider. It might just simply be that they're no longer interested. Okay, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But again, if, for health reasons or something else like that, then we may want to consider them turning to alternate and then switching or something.
Sure. Okay.
Mayor, I have a question. How did we know about this one commissioner? How was it reported to the agenda?
I just asked how the going. I didn't talk about.
No, but who gave, I'm sorry, I'm not just talking about the individual, but do all the different commissions report who has been at these meetings?
Go
How is it
ahead,
done?
Madam Clerk, go ahead and explain how the attendance is taken and reported.
The attendance is submitted by the commission clerks once a year to the city clerk.
Okay, thank you.
I like staff's recommendation, an audit of each of the commissions for us to look at. Communication with these volunteers, I think is important. And then I am a person who needs to see what's going on, and names and districts I think would be really valuable too. So we have all that information in front of us. I do like the idea of giving alternates the opportunity, especially if they've been around, and a lot of them attend all the meetings. And I like that general idea, and I'm not saying we need to put it into policy, but I generally like that idea of moving the alternates in that role. But if we're going to replace the alternate, I want to make sure that I can see the entire commission and what it looks like, and be intentional about that new alternate or that person that we appoint to that role.
Do you think you have enough time to do it for the next council meeting, or do you need more time, Madam?
We might need a little more time than that. We'll give you a report back on that.
Thank you. With that, my recommendation, if anybody move.
There's only public comment on this one.
Just
There is a
public comment?
No, we need to ask if there's
Oh,
public
is there a
comment.
public comment, Madam?
There's no request to speak on this item.
All right. Public.
Can you clarify your because I think your recommendation is to remove someone, and I'm
That one's already been removed.
okay.
Brenda's been removed already, right? been removed?
No, she,
No,
No,
no
she
one's
hasn't.
she
been
has not been
removed.
removed.
Oh, she hasn't been removed?
Yeah,
Oh, my
we
understanding was
communicated
she
to her
was.
today that, once I was informed about the pending action, I requested that she be told to, we're pausing this pending further discussion with the council. I'm not comfortable with having staff remove commissioners based
Okay,
on
I'm
attendance
sorry.
records when we haven't been consistent
For some
about
reason,
that.
I was informed she was, and we had this on the agenda. Was I mistaken?
You were not mistaken that there was an initial communication with the person. We did place it on the agenda at your request, and it really, the consideration was to appoint the alternate members that still could have been on the table. But just the point about removing someone purely based on attendance records at the staff level, I requested that we inform the person that we want to get more discussion with the council before
That's fine. So
we do that.
So at this time, Brenda's still a regular member. Then we don't have a vacancy to move Mr. Anderson over.
Correct.
Okay, then we don't need this. This was on the agenda, was just informed that's not the case. Move over to council.
Move it.
Move it back, remove the motion. Okay, well, thank you so much. Council calendar is attached. And city council calendar, did you have any updates?
Yeah, you'll notice my partner over here is absent. She's actually at a conference. We'll get her into the photo that you took earlier. I'll do something. Council calendar, the only item I was going to note tonight is, I believe it is next week. I'm already failing at this, I'm sorry. On Thursday, the 14th, we are proud to finally say Station 45, the admin side of the station, and actually the rest of it is done. You'll recall that there was major remodeling work that had to be done. The furniture is now in. And so we're doing a sort of an open house style tour, so the council's welcome to drop by and see the improvements. That's on the 14th at 10 a.m. And while it's not an item we're inviting council to necessarily, I'll just jump into my manager's report. We're kicking off the Community Academy, which has been a strategic plan item for the council. I believe the first night of that is on the 9th, so you may see some information about it in the newsletter coming up. So that's all I had for manager's report also.
Oh, thank you. City attorney report? And staff direction from city council members? Future agenda item request, I do have one. Future agenda item request, and I think you'll see in your packet the memo that I requested. Be able to, memo inside the packet.
Very last page, I believe.
Very last page. There it is. So in taking a look at the Parks Commission and the interest among the Parks, commissioners to be involved, which I'm, very supportive of, taking a look at expanding it from 7 to 9 commissioners, but if not, you have to have an odd number. I have some other recommendations here, because there is a youth who's under 18, and this is the only commission where we can have a youth member participate. And none of the other commissions, that's an option. And so the youth did put in an application and was not recommended, and that youth lives, I think, in District 1. I do like to see more youth participation, especially in the Parks Commission, where I do think we do have 2 commissioners, one who's been very actively involved and one who's an adult youth who has a history of playing soccer, and I think that was also Councilmember Roscoe's recommendation, which was a great recommendation. And with that, I have some, recommendations where I would like to add that, the city, park acreage has grown 41%, and the park sites have grown, 39%, and the trail miles have grown 64%. So that's why you see a lot of interest generated to participate in the future planning of the parks, trails, and intergenerational activities. So you got to have where the District 1 representative is more of the older version. But he's always, not only does he participate here, but he's also in the mental health board, and he does quite a lot of activities to just rehabilitate our parks separately. So, with that, I would like to just ask the city staff, or city manager for any feedback on this.
And do you mean feedback on the particular request to go from 7 to 9 commissioners?
To put it on the agenda, to put it on, so I think the item here is for staff to say, is it gonna take a lot of work? Isn't that what it is? Is it gonna take a lot of work
Well,
to put it on the agenda for future discussion?
so we appreciate the opportunity to weigh in at this stage on what staff thinks about the item being requested, but really the purpose of this is for the council to say, do you want to place it on a future agenda for your consideration?
Right.
In this case, I consulted with our Parks Director and other staff, our exec team, about this specific proposal to go from 7 to 9. We do not recommend expansion of our commissions. This one in particular is among the largest planning commission, I think being the other one that's 7 members. Going to 9 has a couple of just concerning implications. The main one being it's already a challenge to achieve a quorum at some of these meetings, and going to 9 people, now you're requiring 5. So there's a little bit of a concern there. I think also the commission, from staff's perspective, we feel like we have enough diverse perspectives on there. Council's done a good job of balancing geographically with the city. So no need to expand beyond the current capacity. If there's a desire to do something more formal, like establishing a dedicated youth member, that could be done through a municipal code amendment. We have no concerns or issues with that, but
Can I share just a couple thoughts?
go ahead.
So I just have a question. I remember
fine.
Jeff always can't talk about this as we are, can you advise us on this?
Yeah,
I can make
so
sure we're
go ahead.
following the guidelines, because I'm just putting it on the agenda for future discussion.
I think we're still within bounds here,
Are we?
but we're getting close to the edge of how much discussion we
Alright,
should be
just tell
having
us,
on this.
just kind of put the B button. Okay,
Yeah,
go
for
ahead.
us, it comes down to staff would not recommend moving from 7 to 9. So
Okay.
if, to the extent that recommendation matters, the
Okay.
consideration of future agenda.
Could you advise exactly what I am allowed to say without it stepping over the line?
Right now, the basic question is, do you want staff to spend the time investigating this item, preparing a report?
And if, say, there was a consideration, because the memo that the mayor provided went beyond the 7 to 9, it also addressed the youth member issue. So the council could say, no, we're not interested in going from 7 to 9, or yes, we are. Or it could say, we're not interested in that part, but perhaps a youth member. So that's what we're talking about tonight.
I'm looking at the lawyer. Can I?
It seems like if you have a lot you want to discuss on this, maybe you
No,
should
I
put it
just,
on.
can I say exact, so Aaron is still I'm within the bounds. So at least, again, I can speak for just myself. I would say I would be interested in staff exploring the youth position. I won't go beyond that. And I would, particularly with staff's thoughts already, I would not want the staff to spend additional time exploring going from 7 to 9.
So I think procedurally what I'd recommend is, because the mayor's proposal was to go from 7 to 9, if you would like to, kind of maintain that as the core of the proposal, you could take a vote on whether to put that part on the agenda, the future item. I'll look to our attorney to say if there was an interest to kind of isolate it down to just reconstituting the commission membership. Are we good?
Could we amend the request at this
I
point?
think we could amend the request.
Okay, so
As long as we stay within what was in your written request.
Right.
it is in there.
Yeah.
To amend the request.
I
then.
like the request that Mayor Pro Tem. Very much so.
Oh, that's great. I will accept the amendment of the request.
Friendly amendment is to isolate the staff's attention on a youth position on the Parks Commission.
Yeah, and we can, I won't commit to a date if that's okay yet, but it won't take us very long to, I think, look into this issue and come back with a report on that. So I think in the past, we've had the council go ahead and vote on this, just to make sure that it's clear that that's the desire. So that would be my recommendation.
I think we do have to take a vote, right?
It's
The city
attorney is
a
nodding his head.
council procedures thing. Yes, we
According to
should.
the procedures manual,
Yeah.
you do need to vote on it.
Yeah.
All right, so Mayor Pro Tem Early moved, and Councilmember Alcala seconded. Is that correct?
Mhm.
All right, Madam Clerk, please.
Councilmember Sulpicio Hull.
Aye.
Councilmember Acala.
Aye.
Councilmember Orozco.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem
Wait.
Early.
Before we finish that, we
Open
should
it up
ask
for
if there's public comment.
Sorry, pause that, and I'll
There's
open-
no request to speak on this item.
Right, thank you. And last,
Mayor Guerrero.
aye. All right.
Oh, I actually, you need to finish, Mayor Pro Tem Early.
Mayor Pro Tem Early.
Aye.
Okay,
Mayor
sorry.
Guerrero.
Aye. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. And with that, we have two adjourn in memories tonight. The one is retired Councilmember Bill Christoph, and I know that a lot of us, knew him and would like to open it up for comments among my colleagues here. And the other, I don't know if anybody knew Mr. Manuel Lira. You might have known him. He was. Okay. I can provide a few comments just to make sure we adjourn in his
Mr.
memory.
Lira?
Mayor Pro Tem Orozco, sorry, Councilmember Orozco, would you like to begin with comments about Councilmember Bill Christoph?
Thank you. Back in 2016, I had the great opportunity to sit with then Councilmember Bill Christoph at Laboo to just discuss the state of our city and his ideas on how he had envisioned leading it forward. He had, at the time, served about 30 years and had recently decided he planned to retire and live the good life finally with his wife Brenda and his family in the old West Sacramento neighborhood where I currently reside with my young family. We had the opportunity to talk about life and politics and the city, and over the years talked over breakfast at Carol's and entertained lots of phone calls and visited in hospitals, and he became in lots of ways an informal mentor. Oftentimes didn't even know this, but there'd be nights when we'd have very difficult and challenging council meetings, and I'd look over to the wall on the left and see his photo there, and I remember the what he had told me during one of our conversations, which was, so long as I did my homework on a matter and thought about it and voted my conscience, if I thought I was doing the right thing by the city, then there could never be a wrong answer. And I carry those words with me always in hopes that, I do the right thing here. Quite frankly, every decision we make is something that's arguable. There are merits on either side, and regardless of, it just depends on where you sit on an issue. But in the grand scheme of things, I think we all could easily say about ourselves that we hope to do the right things for our city. And Mr. Christoph gave 30 years of his life doing exactly that. I learned of his passing, and even though I know he was ill, and it still really came as a shock, because even though life isn't promised, and many of you have heard me say that, you only live once and you better embrace every moment of it. He left an indelible mark that has completely impacted the complexion of our city. And it's a sad loss for our community to have lost such a pillar. But we were privileged. We were touched in many ways by an angel. And at the same time, I know that we will continue to be watched by Bill Christoph. And my heart and soul, I know I can speak on behalf of this council when I say our hearts go out to his wife Brenda and his beautiful family, and our entire community who is stricken and grieving for the loss of a wonderful. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for your time.
Early.
I did not have the pleasure of being able to serve with former Councilmember Bill Christoph, nor did I have the opportunity to really get to know him as a friend. But I do know how difficult this job is, and the sacrifice that we make, and therefore he made personally, and that his family made. And he laid the foundation for
what we've been able to grow and do in our city. And so I just think it's important to say thank you to him and thank you to his family for the sacrifice they made, because it's a sacrifice that not just you personally make, but that your family gives up some of your time as well for you to be able to serve our city. And I'm so incredibly grateful for his time and his family allowing him to give to our city. So thank you.
I didn't know Mr. Christoph really well, but I remember him being at the post office. See the postmaster?
he was the
Yes, he was.
postmaster.
And he was always very friendly, always very helpful. And I think the next time I saw Mr. Christoph was a few years later, and he came and introduced himself. He said, I'm a city council member. And if you ever, have a problem with city, complaint, he says, get in touch with me. So we sort of rang his phone quite often, whenever people in Broderick and Bright had concerns. He was a go-to guy for us. So I just really want to express condolences to all the family. His sister Kathy Brandon was a teacher over at Holy Cross. And I saw the outpouring on Facebook, West Sacramento discussion board. Everyone was calling him the best council member ever. Really wonderful.
Thank you. I remember Bill Christoph as Billy Christoph. He was sworn into office in '87, which was the year my family moved to West Sacramento. And Billy Christoph and West Sacramento just went hand in hand. And so for someone to serve the community for 30 years, like my colleagues shared, the amount of just love for our community and time, not only of his, but the support of his family, is just absolutely incredible. And so Billy Christoph, thank you for your service, and deepest condolences and love to his family. People who serve West Sacramento in this capacity truly love their city, and Billy was rest in
Remember. And yes, 30 years of dedicated service, making sure that our city was, fiscally on track. He always focused on the budget, and also helping with the levy, serving in Wasafka, and making sure we had clean water. So you got the bill, the George Christoph water treatment plan. So named after his dad, and it shows the legacy of service among, his family here in this community. And so being the longest standing, council member serving here, and his family legacy lives on, here with the, which is now Sutter Health Park, formerly Rayleigh Field. He had a vision of a field of dreams where you can have baseball players come in from everywhere and play. And he wanted to also have like a botanical, garden, because he wanted everybody from outside of the community to come in to see how beautiful West Sacramento is. And so that leadership, and under his mayoral leadership, this is the building he helped construct. He made sure this beautiful building got established. You'll go outside and see in the plaque, he's the mayor of the city, when this building, was under their direction and opened up. So it's just a huge legacy to have. The community center, that was an area that I feel has Bill Christoph's name on it. And that's something I'd like to see dedicated to him. Because one of the things that I know Bill cared about our youth, all the way from sports, coaching and seniors, him being a senior himself, that everybody has a place to go. And that's what he created, looking at the community center. I know a lot of people are like, we don't know where to go. Well, he created the community center, and that's what we have. That's what we have been having so many wonderful events, and our seniors go there to be fed. And so he has brought people together as a community, as a family, and his legacy will continue on. Go ahead.
You just
Councilmember.
inspired me. I was thinking maybe we can put something on the agenda of having it renamed the Bill Christoph Community Center. I can get
Okay.
that would be a
that's just
great
an
tribute
idea.
to someone who did so much for our city.
And to memorialize all of his contributions, here in the community. And I think we will miss Bill. And sending deep condolences to his family who will miss him, because I think he left us too early. At least that's how I felt that he was much older than Bill. And, just making sure that we remember a wonderful giant, a humble giant here in the community. 'Cause I remember people saying he always always trimmed the bush that was in the way, getting in the way of a street. Always taking care of the little things. And just a great servant of our community. Thank you, Bill. Thank you to his family. And we will do a little more to recognize him and get. And next, another great loss to our West Sacramento community is Manuel Manny Lira. He was born in 1933 in Madeira, Portugal. And so he passed away in Escaton. And he was living in his beautiful home, and then moved on to Escaton because he needed to find a little more of a place to live, and with the additional support. So he was the greeter there in Escaton. That's just Manuel. So when he settled in West Sacramento, in a loving home where he raised his family and cultivated countless friendships, and with his infectious smile and boundless love, embraced all who crossed his path, making everyone feel like they're a part of his. I always felt like I was a part of his family. Took great pride in his work with Crystal Creamery, where he dedicated himself well into his retirement. And after that, he shared his culinary talents. So we have at the Portugal Festival, we have him. Yeah. So that he would be cooking the tri-tip, delicious tri-tip. He would be sitting out there cooking the tri-tip sandwiches, also in front of Lyra's Market in Rio Vista. So a devoted father, loved community member who continued to bring, a culture, heritage, tradition, which is what we need here in our city. And he continued to bring that. He's just the grandfather, the godfather of all that. And his grandchildren and great-grandchildren were a source of his endless delight, pride for him. So he will be dearly missed. We pray for not only his family during this time, but also for the Christoph family during this time, during their work, their loss, injured in the memory of our two great individuals.
Early moves.
Councilmember, Mayor Pro Tem Orozco, early move.
You got it.
Orozco seconded. It'll take me a while. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Sulpicio Hull.
Aye.
Councilmember Alcala.
Aye.
Councilmember Orozco. Mayor Pro Tem Early.
Aye.
Mayor Guerrero.
Aye. All right, we are now adjourned. Thank you.